Hello, and welcome back to another video. It's been 2 weeks, that's my bad. But your boy's got another Gundam kit, who, he may have also already built. Oopsie, that's my bad. Yeah, so I lost the footage for making the base and stuff. Don't ask me how, I don't know. I really don't know. They just weren't there. But if we're not minding that, I got this like kid airbrush thing currently while my actual one is broken. I need to fix that. I started by spraying this like deep orange color all over because I wanted, and then did like a yellow because I really wanted the effect to kind of look like sparks that were being created from his sword that he was slicing across the ground were like glowing the one side of his body, if that makes sense. I think it's called OSL, which is difficult for me to do because I'm not very good at it, but I'm practicing. I then started to paint what the actual armor would look like where it's not glowing. I decided to go for a green. Not really sure why, it was kind of just impulsive. I was like, you know what, let's just do green. So I start with this deep green and layer this on all the different armor platings that don't have the lighting on it. And then after applying that first layer of yellow, it didn't really stay very well, like it was very transparent. So I applied another layer and made it glow even more, and this is really where it starts to actually kind of look like OSL. Again, not as good as like say some of the people online who do them, but I think it's pretty decent. I then also grabbed a lighter green and started to layer this above all over the like darker green armor plates, just kind of making it more brighter towards the center of the different plates. Just add variation to the different armor plates and, you know, all that jazz. I also applied this to areas like the backpack that kind of like turns, that I'm pretty sure is a little ship. I ended up not painting the visor or anything as if it was ship because I knew I was never going to take it off, but we ignore that. I then grabbed an even lighter green than a lighter than one that I just put down and layered this up even more to add even more variation. I then grabbed this pink, whoa. See, the thing is, right, normal people would cut this out of the video. I'm not, because it's funny. No, but I grabbed a green paint marker and put this in like on all the different edges because Gundams are very square and angular in the sense of like they've got lots of angles and edges everywhere, so I highlighted all the edges with this green paint marker. Not pink, it's green. I then again applied this to the backpack and like the shield as well. I haven't actually shown me painting the shield, but don't worry, I have been. I then grabbed like a bright yellow paint pen and I layered this on top of all the areas that were like glowing. So I put it in different areas and like it ended up in certain areas kind of ended up like looking like hot metal, which wasn't exactly what I intended, but in the end, that kind of actually worked, like in my favor. It's like, I mean, I imagine this laser sword would be quite hot if it's causing sparks and stuff and able to cut through stuff. So I mean, it wouldn't surprise me if the metal's like gets really warm and it kind of looks like the coils of like the inside of a toaster per se. I then also did the same step on the helmet, which I've also been painting, but keep forgetting to show. Mainly because this is the only time I found footage where I was painting the helmet, but I very much know what I'm doing. Very, very much. I then grabbed a gray and started to paint this on the base, kind of layered it up, just trying to make it look like more like rock or like flat stones, like kind of not exactly tarmac, but close to tarmac. I then grabbed this lighter, kind of more beigey version of this color and like dry brushed this on the edges, kind of like wet blended it slightly, because it kind of made it look like the edges were glowing from the gleaming light of the sparks that were being like the ground cut through. I then also painted the rim of the base here, just a pure black. Just pure black base will never do you wrong, ever. They always look crisp, always crisp, very crisp. I then made a decision here that I'm not so happy with now, where I started to dry brush this black on because I thought it would look like more like charred ground. It just really didn't work, but whatever. And then here we started the final assembly, where I attached things like the head, the backpack, the shield, the sword, and then all these little glowy bits that go into these different holes that I've kept off the model for reasons so they would keep their like translucent pinkish color, because I didn't want to lose that if I would paint over them. And with all these different like translucent bits reattached to the model, we're done. On to the glamour shots.